Hi guys, and welcome to this video tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a login system in PHP and mysql. For this you're going to need a web server, so first of all we're going to download XAMPP. This is basically a web server with a built-in SQL database. It allows you to use PHP and FileZilla FTP as well. So first of all go to Google and type in XAMPP. Okay, the top result is the one you want. Okay, then you're going to find the download page. I presume you're on Windows, so we want this one. Okay, then just click download there and download the installer. Okay, once this is downloaded, you're going to want to open the file, so go into your downloads folder and double click the installer. Okay, you can just use basic settings on this. Just select install APIs as a service, install mysql as a service, and install FileZilla as a service. Okay, now once it's installed, you are going to need to configure XAMPP. So once it finally finishes, we're going to go into the web browser to configure it. Okay, so I'll go to your web browser and just type in the web address bar localhost /XAMPP. Select your language. Now click onto security, and this will tell you everything what's wrong with the security. So as you can see, all these settings are unsecure because you haven't set passwords yet. So click on this xampsecurity.php, type in a new password for the root SQL user. This can be anything you like as long as you can remember it. Okay, I've just set mine to a default 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So change your password, and I've got the English wrong on this. Never mind. Okay, now the XAMPP directory protection. Type in admin and admin. That will do. Okay, now if you click back onto security, type in your username and password. Okay, so now you want to go to the control panel. Click admin on FileZilla. Okay, just click connect on there. Click onto edit, sorry. Click on users. Okay, you can remove both of these users and add a new user. So I'll add the coder, which is me. Enable a password. Oops, sorry about that. Shared folders, we want to add the XAMPP directory, so that's cpanel, XAMPP, and htdocs. There you go. Allow it to create and delete, read, write, and append. Okay. You can set up IP filters and things like that, but I'm not going to bother today. Okay, now if you go back into security again, it should be secured now. Yeah, PHP is not running in safe mode, but we can ignore that. Okay, now if you just go to HTTP localhost, you'll see just the default page there. It's just going to redirect you. Okay, so you can close that, close that. Okay, now what you want is Notepad. The first file we're going to create is a MySQL connection file. So type in the PHP tags, type in SQL hostname, and this, unless your SQL database is on a different server, it's always going to be localhost. SQL username, this is usually, unless you create a new user, it's usually root. SQL password, which is the one you set up just for the MySQL database. And SQL database, we're just going to call this login, which we haven't actually created yet. Then we're going to type in mysql underscore connect. Then we're going to type in SQL hostname, SQL username, and SQL password. All died. MySQL error. And now basically what this does is it just connects to the database, it checks the username and password against the server. If there is an error, it'll die and it'll kill the connection and show you an error message, which is whatever the error is. Okay, then you're going to want to type mysql underscore select underscore database, and then SQL database in the brackets. Okay, obviously because there's no error, we don't need to put that or die MySQL error there. Okay, then we're going to type in, actually we're going to put these in a variable, so we type in con there, and then we're going to type in if con, then we're going to retype in this select database. Oh no, there you go. And we're going to do an else statement. This is basically doing if it can connect, then select the database, or if it can't connect, then we're going to print an error message saying could not connect to the database. And then we're going to end the PHP tags. Okay, we're just going to save this on the desktop for now. So we're going to type this as mysql.php and select all files in Notepad. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to open the web browser and go to localhost /php my admin. Then type in your username and password. Okay, now what we're going to do is to create an SQL database. So you can ignore all these databases here. Just a little note, if you do decide to delete any, the only one that you can really delete is a test, because all the others are for connections and your SQL users, things like that. So you can drop that database. Yes, we want to drop it. Okay, now we're going to type in login, create. Okay, now we're going to create a new table, and this is going to be users. This is going to have 3 fields. This is just a basic login system. Okay, the first field is going to be ID, and this is an integer. We're going to want this as auto increment. The next one is going to be username. This is going to be varchar, or varchar, and it's going to be 60 characters. So the maximum size username you can have is 60 characters. And the next one is going to be password, which is also varchar, and we want, I think it's 42 characters. Yep. Oh no, 20 characters. That'll do. Okay, and just save that. And now we're just gonna move the open FileZilla and move the SQL connection file to the web server's root directory. So I'll type in localhost and then type in root and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I think it is. Oh no. Oh no, sorry. Try that one. There you go. Okay, now just go onto your desktop and just drag the file into the root directory. Okay, now when we go to just localhost and type in mysql.php, yep, we won't get anything up because obviously there's no data. Okay, if you do just want to test PHP, just type in at the end of this file echo test. I'm just going to browse to this directory. Let's overwrite the file. There you go. Yep. Okay, now we can close this. Okay, now open up Notepad again, and this is going to be called index.php. So save this on the desktop as index.php, and just type in the PHP tags. And first of all, we're going to put if $_host submit, and then we're going to put a few lines, else, a few more lines, and that, and end the PHP tags. Okay, so first of all, this if post submit is if a form submitted, it will run whatever code's in between these two brackets here. And if it's not been submitted, if someone's just accessed the website's page normally through the browser, it will access this code here. First of all, we're going to want to create a table with the login fields in. So first of all, just for simplicity, we're going to end the PHP so we don't have to use the print functions, and start them again there so we can finish the code off. Okay, so we want table border equals 0. Then we're going to want tr and td tags, then username, end the td tag and start a new one. Then we're going to want input type equals text, name equals username, and just end the input. And we're going to want to end that td tag and end the tr tag. And sorry, I did forget to do this, but underneath the table border, you want form method equals post. Action equals index.php. There you go. And you're going to want to start with tr and td for the password. and you're going to want import type equals password, name equals password, then end that tag, and the TD tag, and end the TR tag. Then next you're going to want another TR tag and TD. But now instead of typing anything here, we're going to type and NBSP semicolon, and then end it. Start a new one. And we're going to want import type equals submit, name equals submit, value equals login, and we're going to have it there just to look cool. Right, so now we're going to end that and end the tags, and now we're going to end the form and end the table. Okay, so basically what this is, the table just keeps everything aligned. There's no border, so no one will think it's a table. It just keeps everything like, keeps these to the left and the fields to the right. The first part is in between these two TD tags here. Obviously, is the name for the input field, and these ones are the actual input fields. Basically, text will give you a normal text box where you can see what you type in, things like that. But this one, password, will mask the text, so obviously you're putting in a password. The server will still be able to read it, but it's not readable to the human eye. This and MBSP, that's basically just a space. For example, in HTML you can't just put two spaces like that. If you wanted two spaces in between characters, you'd have to put two MBSPs. Okay, so this part is the submit button. Basically, when people press this button, it will go to this code here. So now this part's done, we're going to want to start creating this one. So open a $, create a variable for username equals s_post username. Okay, and obviously this post data has got to match the titles for the names for the input fields down here. So the next one is going to be password equals post password. Okay, now we're going to check to make sure the field's not blank. So type in if username equals nothing, or so these two lines here mean or, basically. So if it's something, or if the other thing's something, basically. Or password equals nothing, then we'll print sorry, you have missed out a field in the login form. That was it. Else. Okay, so now we're just going to end this just so I don't miss any of them out, because these are important, them curly bracket things. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to want to include the SQL file to connect to the database. So we'll do require mysql.php. Okay, now type in SQL equals mysql underscore query, and then we're going to want select username password from users, where username equals, and then the username variable, all die mysql underscore error. Okay, then we're going to want to do num equals mysql underscore num underscore roles, and then the SQL query. Then we're going to want to type if none equals 1, print, oh no, sorry, we're going to want if none equals 0, the username you entered was incorrect, else. Okay, then we're going to want to check the password, so we'll get role equals mysql underscore fetch underscore assault, and then the SQL query. Then we're going to want to type mypass equals role password, and then if password does not equal mypass, print the password you entered was incorrect, else. Okay, now we're going to want to create a session. So actually, first of all, right at the top of the page, you need to create, we'll rather type session underscore start, open and close bracket and semicolon. Okay, the session start always has to be at the top of the page, otherwise you're going to get header errors, and that just messes your entire page up. So always put this right at the top, right after the PHP tags. Don't put any text or anything, so don't type in anything like, I don't know, print hi or anything like that. Anything that's outputted before session start, it will bring an error, so just don't do it. Okay, so now we're going to want to type in s underscore session username equals username, and then s underscore session password equals password. Okay, now basically what this is doing is creating a session, so it will remember that the person's logged in. So now they can basically redirect to another page, say their account page, and you can call up this information. It's just like setting a variable really, but it's stored on the person's computer. And you can just pull up this information, match it to your database and fetch their user information or whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so now we'll type in print welcome back, and then we'll type in my user. I'll create a variable for this. So we'll type in, for the variable, it's my user equals session username. Okay, now we'll type in new line and type in your password is my password. Yeah, that'll do. I'll create a new variable for this. So same again, but with password there instead. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the login system. So now what we're going to want to do is, oh, hang on, I think I have forgot one of these. Let me just check. Yeah, I think I have. If there's an error, just ignore me, I'm tired. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is go back to the desktop and upload index.php. And now you can just go to localhost for this, because it should pull up in index.php automatically. And it's giving me errors. Okay, this undefined index here, Basically all you do to get rid of this is type in an @ sign before the variable. So I'll type in an @ there, and that should get rid of that error. If it comes up with any more, I'll just sort it out. Yep, there you go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to open a new tab and go back to the database, and we're going to want to, for now, because we haven't actually got a registration page, we're going to want to insert a user manually. So browse the users and we'll insert, we'll just create a basic one, admin and admin. You can ignore the ID field because it will fill that in automatically. Okay, so there's a user added. So now we just type in admin and admin. Close that. Yep, and that's all working. It says welcome back admin and your password is admin. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to create a test page to make sure that it's storing sessions properly. So now if we go to a new page in Notepad, type in your session start again, and anywhere you're using sessions, this must be put at the top obviously to start the session off. So first we're going to end the tag first, and then we're going to type if $_session username print you are logged in, else print you are not logged in. Okay, that will basically check if there's a username, if there's a session. So we're going to type in a variable for this. So my user equals $_session username, my pass equals $_session password, and we're going to create a new line here, or a couple of new lines, and then we're going to type require mysql.php. We're going to type in SQL equals mysql_query, select start from users, where username equals my user, or die mysql_error. Okay, so what this is doing is just basically selecting the user based on the session information. We're going to type in num again, equals mysql_num_rows. Okay, this is just checking to make sure the record exists. And if num equals 0, this is checking. This is the part that's checking to see if it exists. So we'll print no user was found, even though a session exists. So basically what this is even though a session exists, it can't actually find the user, so this means that you could have deleted the username since the last time you logged in or something like that. Okay, so next we're going to want to type in an else. So if it doesn't equal 0, so basically if the record is found, then you want to type I don't know, we're just going to create a new field in the user database. So we're going to want to go to structure on the database and type in add one field. So yeah, then we're going to type in first name. Oh no, we'll just type in name. So it's varchar 255 characters. That's the maximum you can go with varchar as well. Oh no, we've got a capital there we don't want. So we'll get rid of that capital. Okay, now we want row again equals mysql underscore fetch underscore so, and then sql, and then type in name equals row name, and then type in print your name is name. I think that should be about it. Oh no, we forgot to close the tag there. We've added two of them instead for some reason. And we're going to save this as account test.php. Okay, then we're going to want to upload that. Okay, so now go back to your web browser and type in localhost / account test.php. Oh no, that's not actually picking up. For some reason. I know why, sorry. I need to edit the first record and add a name. Okay, so my name is the coder. You're not knowing my real name because I don't want you to. Nah, joking. Okay, yep, and that's refreshed and it's coming up with my name now. Okay, so basically what I've done is, in this part here, it's checking to see if a username exists as a session. Okay, so then we set the variables for the session, which is a username and password. Okay, so it'll say you're logged in, if you are logged in, of course. Then it'll check against the database to see if the user actually exists. If the user don't exist, it'll tell the user that the username doesn't exist in the database. Of course, you can redirect them to a login page or whatever you want there. But if it does exist, then it'll fetch the data, which is this mysql underscore fetch assoc. It'll set a variable for the name, and then output the name. So basically, that's just fetching their account information. Like I said, you can use this for anything you like, really, shopping carts, whatever. And that's pretty much it. That's how you create a basic login system. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and remember to comment, rate and subscribe. Cheers.